Hello guys! In our crazy times, it has already become normal to try and predict which country Russia will attack next. Well, at least we agree Russia will definitely attack other countries. We've heard the versions of Poland, Moldova, Lithuania, Finland, but with each day, Kazakhstan is named more and more often. What is worrisome, this country is named not by international observers but by Russian deputies. And we very well know it's a typical Russian tactics. First, bring it into propaganda channels and then attack directly. Moreover, there was already a precedent when Russian army entered Kazakhstan during protests in January 2022, just before the invasion of Ukraine. So let me tell you more about this really big country that also had bad experience of being occupied by Soviet Union and what Russia wants from it now. My name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel, you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight against Russian propaganda and fake news. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. Two of Russian deputies revealed videos or phone calls where they discuss that Kazakhstan is definitely going to be the next after Ukraine. One of these deputies is actually a person responsible for the poisoning of Litvinenko, a Russian agent who later escaped to the United Kingdom and was very violently poisoned and really died online. So these people are closely connected with Kremlin criminals. They are actually Kremlin criminals and they have started speaking about Kazakhstan in a very negative way, spreading more and more propaganda and hatred among Russian population. And we all know how easily it is to manipulate Russians. Well, they say they observe Russophobia, hatred, and so on, and that they must be educated and punished just the way they wanted to do with us, but, well, Blitzkrieg failed. So let me introduce you to Kazakhstan, which is actually ninth largest country in the world. And I'm sure many of you have heard this name just a couple of times during your lifetime. Well, because the world is so big and we don't know enough about it. Kazakhstan was one of Soviet republics. It is located in Central Asia, between actually Russia and China. And it is a very well economically growing country, which makes it attractive to Russia. We may say that perhaps it is the most successful of Central Asian countries. It has like 20 million population and they are very rich in natural resources, oil, gas, coal. What is also important, being economically successful, they have started developing culturally and they greatly support Kazakh, their own language. In Kazakhstan, they have it. They use Russian as official, but with each day, more and more institutions, more and more people demand from Russians who traditionally live there to learn Kazakh language. And that's what they don't want. That's a problem, that's a tragedy, and that is a symptom of Russian imperial character. Half of the people watching not subscribed, please do share, like, help more information about Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and all the countries that suffer or can potentially suffer from Russia become known around the world. We have to unite against this evil. So Kazakhstan, being successful, being growing, does not want to return back to the monstrous Soviet Union that Putin is so desperately trying to rebuild. Because of gas prices and some production problems, in 2022 they had protests. People have that tradition. Oh my God, that's so bad. Russians are always afraid of any type of strike, meeting, or protest that is so common for healthy democracies, for European countries, for United States. I love us about that. So when there were protests in Kazakhstan, Russians crossed the border and decided to perform peacekeeping operation. In the result of this peacekeeping operation, 225 people died. But then focus kind of switched to Ukraine, and Kazakhstan continued living its own way, but very actively started to decommunize itself, just as Ukraine did, Poland did, because communism was the darkest period in our modern history. We understand that in Ukraine, people understand that in Poland, people understand that in Kazakhstan, and Russia proclaims us very bad for that and wants to invade. So what is pathetic in this situation that just a couple of weeks ago, Russia officially addressed Kazakhstan asking to borrow them 100,000 tons of oil because of smoking epidemic on Russian oil refineries. They already lack 14% of their production of oil. And they are asking for this support and they don't get it. So seems just like Belarus will back them up, but you have to be in a very bad situation, being the largest country in the world, when Belarus backs you up, or North Korea. Anyway, Kazakhstan demonstrates its independence. Kazakhstan supports the development of its own economy, of its own independence. Wants people to learn Kazakh language when living and working in Kazakhstan, and all of that traditionally makes them enemies to Russia. Oh, one more thing. They did not celebrate Victory Day in Russian style for 3 years already, because they say they see it differently, and the economy is bad and the situation is bad. And surveys among Kazakhs demonstrate that they support Ukraine more than Russia in this war, which is like the greatest of all possible sins for a country bordering Russia, and which Russia also considers a part of its rotten Ruski Mir. Even though Kazakhs are very different by origin, by language group, by religion that they follow, by their history, I don't know, climate, everything. You definitely see they come from a different, unique, interesting culture. And it's so bad that Soviet Union for decades tried to erase, suppress that all, and later sell it to the world as no, these all peoples, they are all Russians. No, they are unique, and we protect our right to be Ukraine, to be Kazakhstan, to be Moldova, to be Poland, to be Lithuania. And that is very important to understand. If you were misled by this propaganda that got to your manuals, your schools, your media 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, please be prepared to change your opinion. Why Russia needs to invade Kazakhstan? Well, because the only way for Russia to survive is to continue these wars. Russia is miserable. It has lots of problems inside. It does not know how to solve these problems, and there is no way without collapsing or dissolution. We have a beautiful video about that. But anyway, by attacking others, saying they need more missiles, more people, they distract attention from internal problems, and they create this imitation of economy. And they say all the problems that we have are because of isolation, sanctions, and so on, when it is definitely not so. All the problems that they have are because of imperial mindset and this hatred towards all the neighbors and sane people, and of course democracy, which is the way for all of us. Thank you once again for your subscription. Share, like videos if you feel like sharing and liking them. But I believe the world lacks information about Russian war in Ukraine, about Russian war crimes, and about the reasons why we have to stay united against this evil. Remember to join me on Instagram, X, Threads, and we have a beautiful Discord community. And our merch shop celebrates a year. During this year, many beautiful people bought many beautiful items that work well as reminders and conversation starters. And we decided to make a big sale because of that until Saturday. So if there is something you like or you feel can be a good present, do check our merch shop. The link is in the description of this video. The sale is serious and lasts until Saturday. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons, and most importantly, thank you for becoming my friends and family. I love our community and I hope you feel the same way. Слава Україні!